Hey, Billy Epperhart here. Thanks for tuning into another vlog. And this is a series of vlogs I'm doing on how long do I have to wait. People ask me that question for success to happen or for money to come. And one of the ways that I've been answering this, of course, is from the scripture. But I've been sharing in Hebrews chapter 1. We talked about in the last vlog, we actually talked about running the race of life, learning to get into the race of life, and the 5 areas of your life that you need to have order in, not perfection, but order. Have order in your life. And when we say order, we mean you're not overly distracted by any one of those 5 areas to the point you can't fulfill one of the other areas. In other words, to do what you need to do to run the race of life. But then there's another race that we need to run, and it's what I call the race of the current season. So let's talk about that for a second. Let me say it again. The race of the current season. Okay, and we're reading in Hebrews chapter 12. It says, therefore, verse 1, therefore we also, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which so easily ensnares us, and let us run with endurance or patience or perseverance the race that is set before us. So the first one is just to even get to the race of your purpose, you first of all have to run the race of life, just in those 5 areas we talked about. And then secondly, you have to run the race of that current season. And so what we mean by that is that really all of us go through different phases in our life. And I think, since I'm a male talking to men, I think I've heard all kinds of teachings and thoughts on the fact that men typically go through 3 phases of their life. I would say that would be true for women too. And I don't think there's any magical number of 3 phases or 5 phases, but 3 phases just kind of gives us a place to kind of hang our hat. And so let me talk about it in this way. We have to run the race of the season that we currently find ourselves in, right? And so, for example, if you look at Moses' life and you look at the seasons of his life, we know the first 40 years he actually spent right in Egypt. And then he went and he had to spend 40 years on the backside of the desert. And then he spent 40 years on actually leading the people out of Egypt, as it were. He never led them into the promised land. Joshua did that, but Moses did lead them out. So you see 3 distinct phases, for example, in his life. So what does that mean? Well, that means that in our life, let's be clear, we will make mistakes. There'll be times when there's things that, just don't turn out the way we thought they should. But a lot of that is a learning process that we need to learn to grow. Now, I'm not saying God's doing those things to you. I'm saying that as you go through life, you'll have challenges. And the world's real, right? Challenges are real. And all of those things that are out there that challenge us are real. And we have to grow through those challenges. And so as we grow through those challenges, what we're really doing is not only running successfully the race of life, but we're also running successfully what I call the race of the current season. Now let's talk about that for a minute. I heard this statement many years ago, back in the late 70s, early 80s, that most people live and die in a non-growth environment. Let me say it one more time. Most people live and die in a non-growth environment. Now, that's really true, because once we graduate from, say, high school, or you graduate from college, or you graduate from a postgraduate degree, many people at that point stop growing, they stop learning, they stop reading, and honestly, they stop experimenting and going through discovery phases. And so one of the things that is real important about running the race of the current season is always make sure that in the current place you find yourself, you're in a place of growth and learning. In other words, you always want to be getting better, not bitter, but better. Remember, the only difference between the word bitter and the word better is the letter I, right? It's more of a self-centered piece. And so you have to, you're key to that. So I heard Jim Rohn say many years ago, he said, the major key to your better future is you, right? And so you have to run the key. The key is running the race of the current season wherever you find yourself. So you may be in a totally learning season. You may be going through a challenging season right now. There may be other things that are happening in your life, but the key is make sure that you run successfully and with determination the race of the current season that you find yourself in. So this is Billy Epperhart. Thanks for tuning in this vlog. And we're going to continue with the series on running the race that is set before you here in the next vlog. Bye-bye.